Hi, my name's Ivy Hurst, and I'm going to talk about how important it is traveling with your horse and knowing your horse and being able to have a successful haul to and from the show without developing ulcers, dehydration, different things like that. Some of us drive an hour max, some of us drive 20 hours max. So you kind of know where you're going and where you're headed. If you're driving a long distance, I feel like it's really important to map out your route, make sure you're taking safe routes, and make sure you have a safe place to stay that horses are allowed to be at, and call ahead, make reservations. I like to drive probably 6 hours max, give or take how far my trip is. If I'm only going 10 hours, I'm gonna stop at 4 or 5, get them out of the trailer, walk them around. Again, it's really important to pick a safe place. I'm really big at staying away from right next to the interstate. I'm not gonna walk my horse at a truck stop that the interstate is from here to there, and if he got loose, it's not good. So if I gotta pull into town and find a little quieter place, that's something that I would like to do. One thing I'm really big on, if and when I do stop and let my horses walk, it's more important to me that they get their heads down on the grass and find some safe grass that's not full of trash or fertilizer or something. Make sure you're in a safe place again. But these horses have a lot of drainage in their nose, especially ones with allergies and different things. I've had some friends get respiratory issues because they've hauled so long and they didn't unload their horses. They get mucus build up in their trailer. You can almost always hear it. When I've been a long haul and I'm backing my horse out of the trailer, they sound a little gargly when they're breathing. That is a really important time to let them out and let their heads down. I'll feed them on the ground at the truck stop. I'll water them on the ground on the truck stop, just getting their heads down. And if you see a lot of drainage, don't be alarmed. It's very normal. But I think a lot of people just don't know how important that is. Other things you can get with your vet, ulcer meds are very important, and it's something that you don't wait till there's a problem to start. If you know you're going to be traveling next weekend, 4 or 5 days before you go, you might want to start your horse on some ulcer medicine, talk to your vet, see what he recommends throughout the show that you go to, and maybe a couple days when you get home. I personally like to take my own water with me as much as I can. Obviously, when I get far away, I lose that, but when I first leave out, I have a big 35-gallon tank in my truck and a 30-gallon tank in my trailer. I have my water from home. My horses are happy to have it. It smells familiar. It looks familiar. If and when I do get somewhere, I'm going to leave extra water. I'm going to sleep that night, and if he spills it or runs out of it, water's probably the most important thing when traveling to keep him hydrated. There's lots of really good electrolytes that you can use, keep them drinking. But just know your horse, and hopefully between you and your vet, you've been through him and you understand kind of how he works and what makes him tick. And if your horse isn't feeling good, you know, over time, you'll learn the signals. I had one horse that he didn't show me anything, but he just quit performing, and I thought all these other things were wrong, but he had ulcers. And it really shocked me because I didn't see that one. So I've become a lot more aware of ulcer symptoms. If your horse is crabby when you saddle them, starts to pin their ears a little bit when you cinch them, that's a tall tale sign that ulcers are going on. And usually if you can shut them down before it gets to be a big problem, it's not a terrible deal. But I'd say if you get flat tires on the road, it's probably best to leave your horse on the trailer. It's safer than leaving him tied to a pole on the side of the road or anything like that. But just use your judgment when you're traveling. Keep your horse happy, cool. I like to wrap legs unless it's super hot. Then I have a couple other alternatives. My 2 rodeo geldings that I rodeo on are 12. They've been everywhere. They're not going to kick each other in the trailer. So if that means going 6 hours without their legs wrapped, and that night when I get there and it cools off, I might wrap them or mud them. But if it's 105, I want their legs to be cool and fresh. I've got some cooling gel that I like to paint on there. But sometimes it is just too hot for stuff. So know your horse. If you got to get somewhere and hose them off with some cool water, just keep their legs cool and tight, and that'll usually keep them happy.